When I think of politics, I don't get involved, Joe Rogan, because it scares me. The only thing that doesn't scare me is how a man could have 20,000 indictments and still lead the presidential fucking in our country. This is why America's America. How can fucking somebody have 92 fucking indictments? He's in New York yelling yesterday.
Yeah.
But he still has 50% of the fucking country on lockdown. Right? Isn't that like he's beaten Nikki Haley and the other guy?
Well, because it appears that they're prosecuting him for political purposes.
Yes, they are. I mean, I'm not a political guy, and I'm telling you, they just keep fucking throwing things at this
They're
poor
throwing
guy.
things at him also that don't make sense. Like we talked about the Mar-a-Lago thing a bunch of times, where they tried to say that he overvalued Mar-a-Lago, and the judge said it's worth $18 million. Nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that. There's not a fucking human alive that thinks that place is only worth $18 million.
Did you see who raised his hand this week?
Who?
Sammy the Bull.
What'd he say?
Talking about fucking Trump. He's great. We can never corrupt him. The mafia can never.
The Italians love Trump.
Who?
The Italians. They love
He's
Trump.
uncorruptible. He was saying it the other day. I'm like sitting there scratching my head going, fucking Sammy's a savage.
Yeah.
He's a savage.
Yeah, this is a strange time because there's people that are trying to paint everybody that's supporting Trump as being a white supremacist or a racist or an anti-immigration person or anti-human rights person. You want to vote in a dictator. They're trying to say the most ridiculous versions of what most of it is. Because what most of it is people that are fed up. They're fed up with the open border. They're fed up with the increasing government scrutiny on things like social media. They're fed up with the influence that big companies have over the things you do and don't do in this country. They're fed up with us being in these fucking wars, constantly being involved in wars. And they know that Trump was one of the few guys that when he was in office, we didn't get into more wars. We didn't. They did do a great job of stopping ISIS. They did a lot of things with the economy that seemed to have been working. I'm not an economist. I'm not the guy to have this conversation with. You know, if you want to like talk about policies and what's effective, it's not effective. I'll tell you what's not effective. What's going on right now? What's going on right now is not good. And you want to continue this? You're out of your fucking mind. You look at the just sheer raw numbers of dollars that we sent to other countries this year. That you have to realize that if you wanted the country to be better, you would have spent that money here
on us.
And if you spent that money on us and it stays in America, you got American jobs to make American cities better. You could have done a fucking substantial amount of rebuilding American cities with $170 billion. There's so much they could have done that could have elevated so many lives, and they didn't do any of it.
We're just talking about it. Buffalo,
yeah,
Cleveland, Pittsburgh,
yeah,
all these cities up north, New York and all that. They need a boost up there,
They need something, man.
Cleveland needs a boost. I went to Pittsburgh last year after the pandemic. Half the fucking town was closed, brother.
Yeah.
Places had closed down. I'm like, oh, come on. Something like a good restaurant closed down. How can they close down?
Think about the impact of you can't have any business for 3 years. No business. It's over. I mean, Tony Hinchcliffe's dad lost his restaurant. He had Tony Hinchcliffe's dad had a restaurant in Youngstown, Ohio for like 25 fucking years. And he couldn't, he's getting by. He was getting by. He's doing well, getting by, making money, good restaurant, like real Italian food. Fucking goes under. It's like, God damn it. You didn't even give people the option of what they wanted to do, and you were wrong. And no one is punished for it. They were wrong. They shouldn't have had us locked down for that long. They were wrong. None of that shit made sense. All that 6-foot social distancing, Fauci now admits it's all bullshit. They just came up with that number. People just started saying that number. Remember those stupid stickers on the ground at the bank? You had a sticker. You weren't allowed to stand here, and then the other person has to say 6 feet in front of you, and you stand there. You're not allowed to get close. It's all nonsense. It was all nonsense. And they scared the fuck out of people, and they kept businesses closed. And they closed restaurants in Los Angeles. They closed outdoor dining just because of the optics of it, because COVID started to surge. There was no evidence at all that it was causing outdoor transmission, and they closed those fucking things down. They shouldn't be allowed to have that kind of power over whether or not you can make a living and the choices that you make, because they are just human beings too. And not only are they often uninformed, they're often misinformed. They're often absolutely victims of some sort of corporate propaganda that they've been used as a mouthpiece to promote, and they're affecting these people that have worked their whole lives for 20, 30 years. And it's such a selfish, shitty, fucked up way to run a city, and a selfish, shitty, fucked up way to run a country. And you didn't listen to all the experts, and you didn't take into consideration people's health, mental health from losing their jobs, how many people would have been fine, how many people need this fucking medicine that you're trying to push on them, and how many don't, and who's making the money off of it. The whole thing was insane, and it was right in front of your face, because we live in 2024, and the fucking internet is everywhere. You can't run these giant scams like this where you're just fucking over the whole country without everybody just being able to piece it together at the end of the scam and go, well, now we know how they do it. Look at, they all were working in cahoots together. They were literally paying media companies to shame people that were anti-vaccine. The government was involved in censoring social media posts. Wild shit, Joey. Wild shit. So for people to go through all that and lose their business and be on the other side, and then Trump comes along and he's like, that's enough. You can't just label all those people as white supremacists. You can't label all those fucking people as hateful bigots, because that's not what it is. They don't want any more of this. They're tired of this nonsense that you're shoving down people's faces. They're tired of it. So that doesn't mean that they're evil. And this narrative is stupid. This narrative that everyone on the other side that disagrees with you doesn't see the like fundamental problems, the way things are being run right now. Everyone is hateful. Everyone supports a dictator. You guys are out of your fucking minds.
And then we got Cuba. And they're
Cuba's
dying
not-
of starvation still. So
What are they doing now that Castro's dead? Is his son running it? Who's running Cuba? They're not having elections.
no elections.
They should bring back the mob. That's when it was running
Don't even have
smooth.
fucking paper.
That's when it was running smooth.
Shit, man.
They used to love going. People used to love going to Cuba. It used to be the place to go. They had gambling there. They would go and gamble. So, like famous people used to go to Cuba before the revolution, right? Like
What's
Kennedy.
The guy's name you introduced me to today? He owns a company. Really nice, sweet guy.
Oh, Brigham from Waste to Well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and him had a tremendous conversation because he went. He went to Cuba and he had to get a visa as a student or something. And he was blown the fuck away. But he was more blown away about going into those palaces and those casinos. And they still have pictures of the people sitting where you were, Sinatra and fucking Brando and Rock Hudson and all these, we don't even know. We don't even